Hello there! In this video I am going to show you how to draw your images in the canvas to paint. After decades of making hundreds of paintings and teaching hundreds of people, I realized that the best way to do it was not the way I was taught. This is something that I regret not knowing it earlier, so stay with me and let's find out. I begin this by covering the canvas with quinacridone gold brown and terra verde, and I'm using a pretty large soft, I think it's a watercolor brush to spread the color around. And something that I normally do is split the colors in two, and I will put in one edge of the brush I will use put the terra verde, and in the other edge of the brush I will put the quinacridone gold brown. That way I'll have a more interesting covered, and most of this background will be covered later on, but I don't mind. I don't care about that. I want a surface that is warm enough and interesting enough for me to work with. I absolutely do not like working on a white canvas because the dark colors look too dark and the light colors look too light. And when you work on a completely white canvas, you may have the tendency to not go as dark as you need to be because of that. But if you work with a mid-value tone, then the range towards the darks from the mid value is a lot shorter, and the range towards the light values from the mid tone is also a lot shorter too. After I have covered all the canvas with the colors, then I spread around with the brush, and I will spread around with the sock to make it a little lighter, less heavy, and more even, so the canvas will dry sooner and I can get to work earlier than if I go too thick with the paint, then it will take several days to dry. But if I go fairly thin, for the most part, the next day I can go back and paint if I need to. And I started drawing by putting the sock on my hand and lifting the edges of the roses as I see basically the whole contour. I always do the contour of what I'm seeing, the edges of the roses as they make the background, and the edges of the vase, because it's like a form of mapping, and I'll figure out my way around that way much faster. I have to tell you that I had a hard time making this video because my computer keeps crashing. I have to delete a bunch of things just to make a 4K video. It used to be a good computer, but now it doesn't have the capacity. So eventually, hopefully, I can get something with a little bit more power. And some of the files that I transfer from my phone, because I record all the videos with my phone, and some of the files they will not open, and they say there was the wrong code. So it's kind of funny because every time I encounter a problem, then of course I go to YouTube. Yes, I love YouTube, and I will go to YouTube to try to find out the answer, and I will type in the error code, because you will see in the computer that it will give you a certain number with letters, error code. So I'll type it in to try to figure out how to deal with the problem, how to solve it. And it's funny because you'll find a bunch of videos in there, and then you'll click on the first video and say, well, I'm going to tell you how to solve this problem. The first thing you do is you click in this folder, and then you click on properties, and then you open this application, and anyway, on and on and on it goes. It's kind of funny for me to make, fun, try to imitate somebody's accent. I mean, the audacity, right? but then by the end, you don't really know what your problem is. You completely forgot about it. You've gone through this rabbit hole of all these things you're supposed to do to fix the problem, and then suddenly you click on another video, and in 3 minutes, boom, somebody gives you the solution. So yes, YouTube is funny that way. The cotton swabs are great for the finishing touches and to really refine. You begin with the sock first for the larger shapes, but then when you have to refine some petals then or highlights, definitely the cotton swabs is the best choice. So why is it best to draw in this way by lifting the paint instead of using a brush with pigment? Several reasons. Number one, you don't have to deal with covering your marks if they are too dark or heavy. And number two, you already began more loose, working organically, and this I found yields a more natural painting with a sense of freshness than an overly drawn painting doesn't have. You become more open-minded, and this allows your painting to tell you what it needs instead of us being too in control and limited. Right here in this video, you can see everything that I've used to make the drawing. These are other examples of other paintings that I've done using the same method with the sock. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you give it a like and subscribe, because that will encourage me to make more videos like this in the future. And I really thank you for watching it and stick to it to the end. So now that you know how to sketch your compositions in a canvas, you may want to watch this next video where I'll show you how to match all the colors you see.